Hello, and welcome back to the podcast where you are invited for lighthearted conversations about things that matter as you seek to live your most meaningful, beautiful, and joyful life. I'm your host, Dr. Edie Wadsworth, and I hope you enjoy your stay here at the House of Joy. Hi, dear ones. Welcome back to House of Joy. We have an amazing episode for you today. It actually is a teaching that my clients in Life Mentoring School talk about all the time. Have you ever noticed that certain people just know how to push your buttons? It might be that relative who always has something crazy or quirky or downright mean to say at Thanksgiving, or the coworker who drains the life out of the room. Here's the truth that no one tells you. When you decide someone is difficult, you have just given them the power over your peace. This episode is so loved, one of the most loved and talked about teachings that we have in Life Mentoring School, and I couldn't think of a better time to revisit it than right before the holidays when our relationships are front and center. In this teaching that we're going to share with you on the podcast, I'll show you how to take back your emotional power, how to stop letting other people's behavior dictate your joy, and how curiosity and compassion can turn even the hardest relationships into your greatest teachers. So if you've ever thought, well, I'd have such a peaceful holiday or life if it weren't for these people, this episode is for you. You will learn a mindset that changes everything, not by fixing others, but by transforming how you see them. So take a deep breath, pour some coffee, and let's talk about how to deal with all those difficult people without losing your joy. We're going to talk about all the challenging people in your life today. I'm so happy to be here. If this is your first class with me, welcome. I am Dr. Edie Wadsworth, and I am founder of Life Mentoring School, where we help women heal and impact generations with their amazing God-given gifts. I love y'all. I'm so happy to be here today. This is the perfect time to talk about this because some of us are feeling a little dread as we head into the holiday season, because we know we're going to see people that we call toxic or difficult or challenging. And I'm going to help us reframe that today so that you can create what you actually want to create for yourself, not just during the holidays, but every day. So I am so honored to be here. My girls are home from college, so we have been in there making apple bars. If you never made the apple bars that are on my blog, you should try it. They're so good. And Tom has been sick. Tom has had a wicked stomach flu. Wicked, y'all. And so we have had a rough few days at my house. But today he got up and he loves to, as a matter of fact, there's one charging right here. He loves to keep track of the karaoke microphones in this house. And he literally has been laying wherever he's been laying, on the sofa, in the bed, not moving, not talking for a couple days. Today he got up and started playing karaoke music for us and brought us the karaoke microphones while we were baking for Thanksgiving. So you can just imagine what ensued in my kitchen. It was funny. So anyways, we have had a great time, but I can't wait. I love that Martha. She said, hi everyone, since starting LMS in November of 2019, my people are so much easier to get along with. Isn't that the truth? And we didn't have to change them at all. So good. All right. So let's talk about these difficult people. I also have a surprise for you. If you're not in Life Mentoring School yet, I'll tell you more in the end, but we are opening for this week, for Thanksgiving week. We are opening our doors for a few days, and we have a special offer to make you at the end. So we are really excited. And this call is for people who are already in LMS. We sent them the link because we send our LMSers everything. But we also invited the public to this class because it's going to be so helpful for people. Hi. Bobby, that might be my favorite comment all day. Maybe LMS taught me that I might be the difficult person. I know. So here's what I want to show you. I want to show you something really powerful. We all have these people in our lives, and we like to call them difficult, challenging to be around, frustrating, self-centered. Some of you like to throw around the narcissistic word, obnoxious. Tell me more. Tell me more. What are some other words that you use for people that you find difficult to be around? What do you call them? Annoying. Oh, and I love the judgmental one. Yep. Annoying, judgmental, needy. Yep. Y'all are good. Entitled, crabby, mean, crabby. Oh, y'all got so many. Yeah. Crazy. Oh gosh. Manipulative, opinionated. See, here's the thing. I have so trained this out of myself that I got to there and I was like, I can't even think of any more words. Oh, I love that one. Rude, lazy, overbearing. Love it. Okay, so y'all got so many. This is going to be so fun. Now, listen. Here's the thing. Having a thought is like having a thought that you choose to think over and over is like getting a new car to drive. It's like driving a car. And I got a Jeep Grand Wagoneer a few months ago, about a year ago. How long ago? I don't know, half a year ago. I never saw one on the road. I actually never saw one before I bought mine in person. I never saw one in person. And the Jeep place brought me mine. And when it drove here to my driveway, it was the first time I saw it. But after that, guess what I saw on the road? Guess what I noticed after I got mine? I noticed, oh, there's a Grand Wagoneers. There's one. Oh, there's a Grand Wagoneer. I started seeing them, right? Thoughts are like that. So when you tell your brain what you want it to focus on, it will listen to you. When you tell it to focus on people who are controlling and difficult and challenging and selfish and narcissistic and obnoxious, your brain will go on high alert. Not just to find that one person that you think is, you'll just start to, in general, find things that are difficult, challenging, right? Your brain will go, I will find this for you all day long. Now, you might think to yourself, well, there's nothing wrong with me finding this because it's true. This person is that way. And you could collect a jury of your peers and you could probably convict the person that you're thinking of being exactly what you say, of being difficult, of being challenging, of being frustrating, right? You could gather together a bunch of people and you could prove it true. But what I want to submit to you is that it doesn't even matter if it's true. It doesn't matter how many people you can gather to agree that Uncle Charlie is terrible to be around, right? It doesn't even matter. And I'm going to show you why it matters. One thing that happens when you do this is that you basically put yourself in this position of being powerless to them. You're like, well, they're just difficult. I'm going to show you in a second how this shows up in your actions. But what happens is you put that person in this sort of place of power. You give them so much power. You give them so much power in your life. And you basically become a victim to their difficultness, to their obnoxiousness, to their neediness, right? And the crazy thing is, and those of you who've been with me for a long time know that this is what I'm about to show you. But what you will create by thinking thoughts like this, what you will create in your own life is difficultness. Because thoughts create things, because thoughts give us results. You will create challenge and frustration You will create annoyance. You'll even create manipulation. You actually will start manipulating them in your actions. It's crazy how this will turn on you. These thoughts will betray you, friends. Now, I know that you're saying to yourself, those aren't just thoughts. It's true. It doesn't matter if it's true because the brain is so powerful that you will end up creating this in your own life for yourself. What you focus on grows. Thoughts create results. Thoughts become things. And the more you tell your brain, and we do this with people who get under our skin, don't we? We can't stop focusing on it. We're like, so much so, and I'll show you here in just a second. Well, let me go ahead and show you this, but I want to come back to show you what you do with it. I teach this concept called the creation cycle, where thoughts create feelings. Those feelings cause us to take action. And those thoughts end up giving us an internal result of how we experience our own life and an external result. But I want you to think about, what are the actions you take? How do you show up when you decide to focus on how difficult someone is, how challenging they are, how obnoxious they are, how self-centered they are? I want you to tell me what you start to do when you're around someone that you think is hard to be around. Now, I want you to think about this and tell me in the chat some of the actions that you actually take. So maybe pretend you're sitting around the Thanksgiving table. Rachel said, add to cart. Yep. Ignore them. Yes. Mirror what they're doing. Yes. Judge them. Aline goes to bed. I love it. Pull away, withdraw, dismiss them, hide from them. It's as if I almost planted you here to prove my point. You're proving my point exactly. Yes. Terry says, be rude back. Yep. Get on my own high horse. Yep. And we do this because our brains want to be right. We want to be right. That person's difficult. We want to be right about that. And I'm going to teach you something better than being right in a second. Angela just said it exactly. The result that you create for yourself is it becomes difficult for you to be you. It becomes difficult for you to be in your own head. You become difficult. You become someone that you don't even like. You become like them. Yes. Then I become overbearing. Then I'm the one doing all of the stuff, right? And the thing of it is, we already know that's not how we want to show up in the world. Y'all, if you have been around here long enough, you know how I love my Cozy Earth pajamas. They're buttery soft, they drape beautifully, and they somehow keep you the perfect temperature. Cozy, but never hot. But what I'm really obsessed with, and don't listen to this if you're on my Christmas list, because this looks like the ultimate holiday gift, their new Bubble Cuddle blanket. I cannot wait to get it. I have been reading all the reviews, which are amazing, how soft and plush and downright joyful it is. So I can't wait. So if you're looking for, something for that one impossible person to shop for, this is it. It's the gift they'll use every single day, long after Christmas morning, and they have it in pink, which is so pretty. And Cozy Earth makes it completely risk-free to try their products with their 100-night sleep trial and a 10-year warranty on their sheets, because once you feel this kind of comfort, you'll want it to last. Black Friday has come early at Cozy Earth. Right now, you can stack my code HOJ on top of their site-wide sale, giving you up to 40% off in savings at cozyearth.com. These deals will not last long, so start your holiday shopping today. And if you get a post-purchase survey, be sure to mention that you heard about Cozy Earth from House of Joy. Wrap the ones you love in luxury with Cozy Earth. The other thing that I think is fascinating is that we spend so much energy focused on them in our heads about them. And then I'll show you in just a second what you create for yourself internally, because your body listens to your thoughts and mirrors your internal environment to what you're thinking. So now you feel frustrated, you feel irritated, you feel annoyed. They don't feel it, by the way, you feel it. And then all of your actions just end up making you kind of miserable and difficult and challenging. Right? And all of that energy that you spent thinking what you're thinking and feeling all frustrated and getting all mad. And then the other thing y'all forgot to say you do is you call Aunt Sally and you call your sister and you call your BFF, and then you all start talking about how difficult this person is. Like, it's untold how much energy you spend on this difficult person. So much energy. And life is short. We don't have the capacity to spend that much energy on this thing that is making us feel so powerless, that is making us feel like a victim. What could you create in your life instead? Life is so short. I said this in the email this morning, lighten your load. You're taking all of this on, and all of these feelings and all of these emotions, right? Also, that you can prove yourself right that they're difficult. But listen, even if you prove it in a court of law, nobody wins, because you're miserable and annoyed and difficult, because look who you've turned into. And they're still the same, except they're not feeling all the internal conflict. So actually, you win proving them difficult, but you lose because you feel frustrated and you feel annoyed and you don't like who you've become. You don't like how you're showing up. And the other thing that happens in this creation cycle is that you are the one who feels all of this inside. So we have this internal result. And this internal result means that you go through your day or through your work or through the holiday and you feel irritated. And you feel justified for feeling irritated. And you call somebody and then you both get irritated together. And then you call somebody else. And then you might make a jab at this person. You win, except what you created for you. I don't know about you, but I have gotten to the point in my life where I want to take better care of myself than this. That person who you've put on this pedestal to be so hard and so challenging and so difficult has basically kidnapped your insides, right? They've taken you hostage. They're now determining what this internal result is like. And that is not how we want to live our life. It's not how I want to spend my energy. It's not how I want to spend my thoughts. Did you know that you have the capacity to think anything you want? And when you think it over and over and over again, it gives you results in your life. You can think anything you want. And what you're choosing to take up, the amazing, divine, God-given consciousness that you've been given, is that person is difficult, challenging, narcissistic. That's what you're going to pick. Now, I don't want you to pick that, because your body is listening to you. Your body is responding to your thoughts. And when you think and you get yourself all worked up over and over again about how bad this person is and how hard they are to be around, guess who's hard to be around? Your thoughts are hard to be around. Just ask your body. Your body's like, yeah, you are not that great to be around right now, because you're making me create this internal environment of frustration and annoyance and resentment
and bitterness. And the result is you get to live in it for however long you decide to just keep, mulling over it, right? You can pick anything. You can pick anything. Something that makes you feel love and gratitude. Pick something that lights your soul on fire. Pick something that makes you want to create amazing, beautiful experiences in your life. Stop thinking you have to pick the 1 or 5 people in your life that get on your nerves. You don't have to pick them to focus on. It doesn't mean that your mind won't keep offering you that. It will. I know. But I'm going to give you some better thoughts to ponder. I'm going to give you some better ways to think about this than you are currently thinking about this, because this is taking up way too much emotional space in your life. These emotions that you are creating for yourself are not good for your body. You're not treating yourself well, and you're blaming it on them. Listen, nobody's powerful enough to create emotions in your body. Only you can do that. So what if you decided, instead of being irritated, instead of being annoying, listen, I've tried this, this works. What if you decided to be curious? What if you decided, I love doing this. This is one of my favorite things to do, because it's like you have to kind of come a little bit out of your body and just become an observer. Just become an observer of people. People are so fascinating. People are so curious, right? And if you just allow yourself a little bit of space, like, how could I know that this person normally annoys me, but I'm going to see it different today. My mind is very powerful, and I'm going to see this differently. I just want to look at it from a different point of view. What if I were just more curious? What if I were curious, like, what this person is actually going through, what it's like to live in their brain, right? What if I were just curious maybe about their upbringing? Just curiosity goes so far. If you can get to curiosity, possibly you can get to compassion, right? Like, sometimes I just like to ask myself, wonder if I could just sit for a second with Jesus. What would he say? What's his take? He's probably got a different take than I do. I'm sure of it. What if he sat down and he said, yeah, you don't know this guy's story, right? What if we're up in heaven, I don't know, 5 years from now, come on, Jesus, anytime, 10 years from now, 20 years from now. And what if we could visit the Thanksgiving table in heaven, and Jesus is telling us about this guy, and he's like, you don't even know. This guy's going to have such an incredible transformation because of the kindness that people like you showed him. Like, you don't even know what's going to happen. I love to imagine that I don't know the full story. You can be around somebody. I did this. This is going to make me cry. I did this with somebody really close to me in my life, and God did a miracle in my heart, because I was able to just look at them differently. I was able to see everything they did differently. I was so convinced that this person was out to get me that it was hard for me to be around them. And I just decided, life's too short for this. Even if this person is out to get me, I don't like thinking that. And so, without that person ever knowing one thing about it, I 100% totally changed my relationship with them and love to be with them to this day. It feels like a miracle to me. And that is available for all of us with just an ounce of compassion. Just being willing to see it differently. It doesn't matter if you're right. Ask yourself, even if I'm right, how am I affecting my own health by thinking this so much? By thinking this and generating these feelings in my body? How's it affecting me? Right? You're being difficult to yourself when you do this. Always ask yourself, how is my thought showing up in my result? How is difficult showing up for me when I think that? How is challenging showing up for me when I think that? Right? Yes. So good, Elaine and Angela. You can be right or you can be happy. And I don't care about being right. Just ask to be proven wrong. Like, I want to see some kind of miracle today that proves me wrong about this person. I want you to say that this week when you are confronted with a person that you have before felt like it's almost impossible to be around. Dare yourself to be proven wrong, right? Just some compassion, some curiosity, some humor. People are funny. You guys are missing it. It's probably funny if you step back and look. Listen, I am raising Jed Clampett mixed with Tom Sawyer. And we went for a rock hike the other day. Some of you probably saw this on Instagram. We went for a rock hike the other day. Every time we go for a rock hike, Tom gets in the water. I used to get irritated by that. And then I'm like, are you kidding me? This is hilarious. The water's freezing to watch him just splash around in the freezing cold water. And then he started getting in the mud whenever we would be down there. If the lake bed isn't frozen, then he just gets in the mud. And that could be so irritating to me, or it could be the most hilarious thing I've ever seen in my life. You guys, have you ever seen the videos of him like laying around in the mud, just like a mud bath? He basically goes down there and takes a mud bath. And it's great because when we get back up to the house, he's got to get in the shower. He hates the shower, except, he'll get in the shower when he's covered in mud. It's perfect. I could keep telling myself over and over every day that I'm going to get mad every time he gets in the water or every time he gets in the mud, or I can just go, this is going to be funny. And I just find the humor. Where are you missing the humor? Do you know how healing it is to laugh? Do you know how healing it is to feel compassion in your heart? It heals your body. Those emotions heal you. And we don't laugh enough. When my girls and I were singing at the top of our voice, Dolly Parton today, I was laughing. It's so funny. I was laughing so hard. Laughter, humor, just such an amazing emotion to feel. We don't do it enough. Fascination, pick anyone, pick your own. But anything is better than what you're creating right now. Frustration, annoyance, right? Difficulty. You're creating difficulty for yourself. Ask yourself every time you think that about somebody, how am I creating that for me in my life, right? Because you will. Now, here's what to focus on instead. I want you to focus on, what do you want to create? Listen, you can pick any thought. Those of you who are in LMS, by the way, if you haven't ordered the next quarter's planner, it's fire. It's also got the cutest little covers. It's available now to order. If you're not in Life Mentoring School, I'll tell you in a minute how you can also get it. But I picked a thought. I've been thinking about this lately because, again, you can pick any thought to focus on, which means you can pick what you want to create in your life. Practice thinking it so much that you feel those feelings. Those feelings will drive your action. You will start to create what you think about over and over and over again. So some of us are wasting amazing, precious space in our brain by thinking thoughts about other people that aren't serving us. I'm trying to find where I wrote it down for the first time. I have been practicing this thought. Where did it go? Tell me in the chat. No, that's not it, but that's a good one too. I write down so many good thoughts, y'all. I don't know where it is. I was trying to find where I wrote it down for the first time. I put like 75 exclamation points, but it's something like, double it. I was thinking of like, oh, what is it like to double your business? And I just decided, oh, I want to double my life. I want to double the joy. I want to double the love. I want to double the adventure. I want to double the gratitude. And I've just been thinking, what would it be like to do that? What if you could double the amount of enjoyment that you have in your life? You can, because you can think it, right? I think that is so incredible. What would it look like? What if the way one of my coaches said this a couple months ago, and I thought it was so profound. Even those of you who think you have an amazing life, what if you could 10x it? You can. Just decide. What do you want to create? And what will you have to think to create that? You're going to have to give up the hold you have on these thoughts about other people that aren't serving you. First of all, your thoughts about them aren't going to change them. Your thoughts about them are going to change you. Listen to that again. Your thoughts about them won't change them. They will slowly, over time, poison you. And what do you want to think instead? What do you want to spend your time meditating on? What do you want to spend your days thinking about? Right? That's what I'm asking myself. How am I using so much energy thinking about things that I could never change, about how people are supposedly toxic and difficult? You can do it if you want. Most of us have spent our whole life doing that. But what could you create instead with all of those thoughts and with all of that energy if you decided, I can think whatever I want? Last year, my favorite thought was, everywhere I look, I see miracles. I would way rather think about that than think about how annoying somebody is, right? Number 2, how do you want to feel? Do you want to feel irritated and annoyed at people? Is that, in your own body? Do you want to feel some low-level resentment? Do you want to feel mad? It's not good for your body to stay in states of emotion like that for so long. What do you want to feel instead? And what are you going to have to think to feel that? Just ask yourself. It's so powerful. And the last thing is, who do you want to be? When we spend so much time focusing on everybody else, what they're doing, how they're showing up, then we don't show up how we want. You just proved it to me. You just told me what you do, right? You just told me what you do. When you think that, you don't show up how you want. You become difficult. You become challenging. You judge. You become needy. All the things that you think about them, you end up becoming. How do you want to show up? I got some good news for you. It is one of the most powerful thoughts I've ever had. And it's in your planner this time. I love this. I am bringing my powerful, nurturing, loving presence to, and then you can fill in the blank, to Thanksgiving, to this difficult relationship, to my children, to my gorgeous girls in there as we're baking and singing songs. Like, don't waste your precious mind, your precious God-given mind, thinking things that aren't serving you, that aren't giving you the life you want. Don't waste it. You only have so many thoughts to think, so much time. How do you want to use that resource to your advantage? How do you want to use it to create the life you want, to feel the way you want, to show up how you want to show up? Yes, Terry, we have that in our planner this time, and it was just one of our things that we meditated on. I'm bringing my powerful, nurturing presence to, and you can fill in the blank, to my husband, to my children, to myself, right? This one is, who do you want to be, Johnetta? So ask yourself that, and then start being that person by thinking that way. When those thoughts about how everybody else is wrong, about how everybody else is hard to be around, and how this relationship is difficult, when those thoughts come to your head, just remind your brain, oh no, we decided we're going to create something so amazing. We decided that who we want to be and how we want to feel doesn't really align with wasting our thoughts on how wrong everybody else is, right? This principle has changed my life. This principle has changed the way I experience everything in my life. I sent an email today. I'm sure some of you got it, but I want to read it to you because I think this is so powerful. I made a conscious decision a few years ago to stop getting offended. And of all the things I've ever given up, this one has paid me back in spades. It has been one of my favorite disciplines to create for myself. Getting offended wastes so much mental and emotional energy that could be used in a million creative and redemptive ways in my life. So I decided to stop getting offended. And every time I'm tempted, and I am tempted, I ask myself, what beautiful experience could I create instead? Sometimes I make dinner. Sometimes I teach a class. Sometimes I take a hot bath. Sometimes I hike. Sometimes I laugh or cry. Sometimes I write emails. But listen, we are living in a time where it's the easiest thing in the world to be offended. Everybody's offended. Just decide it's a no for you. Decide to stop taking things so personally. Give the person the benefit of the doubt. Find the humor. There usually is some, and accept that humans are going to be human. When someone is saying something that you want to be offended by, recognize that you have the choice to take that as an arrow in the chest or not. I recommend letting it go right past you. What they have to say reveals what their thoughts are, what they've been thinking. And I've learned to be curious about that, not offended. After years of practicing this, it's the most freeing way to live in the world. And listen, people on the internet say some crazy things to me, and it's okay. Sometimes there's truth in it. Sometimes there's not. But nothing productive comes from getting mad and hurt and offended. And listen to this. Be too busy carrying the real burdens of other people to take on unnecessary emotional baggage that someone else is trying to unleash on you. Life is hard, and we want you to lighten your load. So I hope that this totally different way, probably, for you to look at life, for you to look at other people, will free you up at work, at home, at the Thanksgiving table, at Christmas time, to just create the experience you want to have. Nobody is powerful enough, unless you let them, to make you do anything different. Nobody's powerful enough to do that. You get to decide what you create in your heart and in your home for this holiday season and for every day.